Joined now by Ivan Eland, who is a senior fellow with the Independent Institute and author of War and the Rogue Presidency. Great to have you on the program with us. The U.S. left behind a lot of military equipment as we saw the Taliban show off at a parade in Kandahar. How big of a risk is that for the Americans to have left behind this military hardware and let it fall into the hands of the Taliban and possibly Daesh-k?
Well, of course, it's not good, but it depends on what it is. I mean, the Taliban and ISIS-K, they're not going to be able to make too much use of tanks except to shoot at each other. A lot of these things that we leave there may not be so good at, international terrorism. The only strategic value that the U.S. has in Afghanistan, as the President Biden said last night, is so that it's not a place of harboring terrorist attacks on the United States. As far as the, the equipment that's left, it's whether they can operate it properly, whether they can maintain it. That's a big if, because they don't have any money. It's very hard to hire people to do it because they don't have any money to do it, and they don't know how to do it. And maintaining that sort of equipment is very difficult over time. So I would say there's some threat, but I wouldn't exaggerate that, especially a threat to the U.S. Now, some of this could be sold on the international arms market. There's no doubt about that, and somebody could get it that knows how to operate it and maintain it, and that could cause a problem for other countries. I'm not sure it would cause a problem for the United States, but yes, that could happen certainly.
Biden saw a lot of criticism from both parties for this chaotic withdrawal, but we know the American attention span is pretty short, and there are other pressing issues that are closer to home. Do you think this will have long-term implications negatively on his presidency, or even affect the midterm elections, which are still more than a year away now?
Well, in the United States, people don't tend to vote on foreign policy issues unless there's a major crisis like our country's attacked on 9/11. Now, this was an end of a long crisis, but people had long forgotten about this war until we saw these shots of the Taliban taking over in the airport. And I think, that's going to be remembered like Saigon was when the United States pulled out of Vietnam. I think the effects of that will be fairly short term, both on Biden's presidency and U.S. standing. U.S. still has a giant economy. We have the most powerful military in the world, and people realize that empires run into difficulties in various places. The British got run out of Afghanistan several times, and so I think, and the Soviets as well. So, I think it was really idiotic for the U.S. to stay there after we got rid of the Taliban the first time. So I think the U.S. takes a hit and Biden takes somewhat of a hit, but I think the elections will turn as they usually do on domestic issues.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Ivan Eland joining us from Washington. Thank you.
Thank you.